If I have to describe Prachi in one word, it would be adventurous. She has this never ending enthusiasm to try her hand at new adventures. And once she finds something that makes her tick, she sets big impossible goals for herself that drives her to test her limits. I've seen this happening over and over again, be it with mountaineering, cycling, running, rock climbing, snowboarding, or fencing. I've seen some people stick to a particular sport and build an identity around that, like say cycling or climbing. But she's not looking to limit herself with a particular sport. She wants to dabble in them all and just enjoy the challenges and growth that comes with that. She has a strong mind and she can suppress pain and keep going. I think that's what makes her good at long and ultra distance endurance sports.
Born in a middle-class family in Pune, I've always been into sports. In my school years, I was into kho and track and field, representing my school in many competitions. I also got a unique opportunity to train under PT Usha as a part of Project Suvarna, which was a selection trial for young athletes back then, for her training academy, which I unfortunately had to miss to focus on my academics. You know how it is, it was all about studies and ranks back then. In college, I got involved with the all-girls Deccan 11 football team, where I played as a midfielder and competed in league matches while also managing my academics. Hiking various forts in the Sahyadris is almost like a tradition here in Maharashtra, which started as a hobby for me and soon turned into an outlet to get out of all the stress and daily grind of college life. Hiking in Sahyadris was just a stepping stone, and the next big step was doing a month-long residential mountaineering course at this prestigious Nehru Institute of Mountaineering in Uttarkashi in 2013, just after completing my engineering degree. That was a huge and life-changing impact and a course for more than one reason. The amazing instructors there taught us all this amazing skills in the rock, ice and glacier climbing, essential to climb these big mountains in the Himalayas. And also, this is where I met Salil, now my husband, for the first time. In 2014, I moved to USA to pursue my master's degree in electrical engineering, and the next few years I focused on finishing my master's and getting a job. And the struggle is real. Currently I'm working as a power and performance engineer with Intel here in Portland, Oregon.
We started dating back in December 2014 and it was a long distance relationship back then for almost 2 years. I was working in Boston and she was completing her master's in Texas. So to keep things spiced up, we used to meet in a new city every time, so we get to share the mutual love of exploring new places. We got married in December 2016 and were finally able to move together in May of 2017. That's when we were able to restart all our adventures. Portland is a very unique place surrounded by a lot of outdoors that is very easily accessible. It's a very good place to be for all kinds of outdoor adventures. In winter, when there is snow everywhere, we can only do snow sports. So we learned snowboarding, cross-country skiing and ice climbing, so we can continue going outdoors. Summers are good and warm, and we can climb mountains, go for camping in the forest, kayaking in the rivers and lakes, and there are good trails to run on and scenic routes to explore on the bike. So in a way, all the sports that we got ourselves into are just different ways to enjoy the nature here. And that is what keeps us going, just the drive to get outdoors. In spite of COVID-19 restrictions here, we had a good hiking season this summer. We are looking forward to improving on ice climbing and training for our first half Ironman distance triathlon together in 2021. We are also working on improving cycling speed and power so we can do PBP 2023 together and finish it well within the time limit.
Hello everyone, a warm welcome from Cyclonet. In the series Courage Unlimited, we have Prachi Kshirsagar today. We are very privileged to have her with us today. Prachi is a daredevil, multi-talented sports person. You name an adventure sport and Prachi has excelled in it. Salil, her husband, aptly describes her as adventurous person. And for her, sky is the limit. So welcome, Prachi. Uh, I think since your childhood, you have always been into adventure sports. So that has always been your way of life. And in school days, track and field, then in college days, football. And later during college and after that, mountaineering has been your passion. So how did you get attracted to that particular field?
First of all, thank you for having me. Um, so, like in a nutshell, I was like this hyperactive kid, and track and field is my first love. And
Okay.
I used to watch DD Sports when I was
Mhm.
in like school all the time because it used to like stream all these track and field meetups. So I've grew up watching that, and also like I grew up listening to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and all his adventure stories, and we have this rich history in Maharashtra about all of our forts and all that. So I was grew, I was drawn to mountains basically.
Mhm.
So I always found an outlet to get all my energy out there. And then actually it was like when I was in 8th standard when my parents saw this spark in me.
Mhm.
I have a knack for running.
Okay.
When I was selected in this PT Usha
Mhm.
trials, where it was like a national level trial, and I was one of the athletes she
Mhm.
selected in Maharashtra. So like that's when they knew, okay, we want her to pursue her passions.
Okay.
And then parallelly I used to go for hiking and backpacking in Sahyadris with my cousins and
Mhm.
with my friends. So it was all actually adding up. That was just a like stepping
So
stone.
then you went on to do your basic and advance in NIM, right?
Yeah, so then in college, i I couldn't pursue, like I couldn't focus on running that much, with that much of time. I couldn't dedicate my time because of the academics and some other distractions. So I used to play football. I started playing football with this local Deccan 11 football club. It was an all girls football club, and I really loved the idea of playing in a team
Mhm.
where you're sharing your skills, you're playing as a team, and you learn a lot and you grow a lot.
Mhm.
You become humble for sure. You see these amazing inspiring athletes, and then I found this amazing institute. It's like one of the best in Asia, Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, and I knew that time that okay, I want to
Mhm.
find something, to go and learn in this institute. So finally went to pursue that mountaineering course after my engineering.
I can say you have always been fascinated by extreme endurance sports. So, was that the reason that you got attracted to cycling? How was
Um,
that transition?
that was really interesting actually. Like mount in that month-long mountaineering course, we did all this crazy, not, I would not say crazy now, but I found crazy at that time. But uh, we did this endurance based
Mhm.
training where we used to carry like 25 kgs of backpack to the mountain, or rock climbing or ice climbing or glacier climbing,
Mhm.
or building our tents, or surviving in the wilderness. They taught us like all these amazing skills, and I was like really enjoying it, even though I was suffering a little
Mhm.
because yeah, it was really testing my physical and mental limit. Like, I really like this, and
Mhm.
this could be something I can explore my limits. And so this actually transitioned well into the cycling, where when I was like, oh, okay, this ultra cycling, it's like really fascinating, and I would really love to test my endurance limits, and that was a really interesting experience. Yeah.
So I think Salil should be held responsible for you getting into cycling. He was your role model, I
Yes.
suppose.
Yeah, I married him for a reason.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, if it was not for Salil's dream to finish PBP, I would not have been like cycling, even more than 100K. Salil is the one, like, Salil is the reason why I, tried and decided to attempt PVP. Yeah, we met on a mountaineering course actually. I didn't know him like before the course. We try harder to work on our mutual goals, and we respect our each other's personal goals. So
So
yeah.
from mountaineering, your interest started growing into cycling, ultra cycling as such.
Actually, I didn't even have like a multiple gear bike before. I had to start from basics, but I really enjoyed that. And Salil was already, exploring his ultra cycling,
Okay, so Salil was instrumental in getting you into ultra cycling. Uh, s- so when did you exactly start with your BRM journey?
Um, so I got introduced to BRM like back in 2015. It was just a high level introduction where when Salil was preparing for his PVP, and I didn't know a single thing about it. uh, my first BRM was in October, I think 2018,
Okay.
which was like a pre-qualifier for PBP,
Mhm.
and we did 200K together. It was like the first time I rode 200K,
Okay.
like the first time this distance. I mean, I did some prep before that, like 70Ks or 100Ks, but not more than that. I really enjoyed it actually, and I although we did finish it like exactly like in 13 hours or something, but I was like really satisfied with my performance. I would say the eye-opening rides, the 300Ks and 400Ks actually. So I live in like the northwest state of USA,
Mhm.
uh, in Oregon, and we were in the Oregon Randineers Club. So we have like this really wet and cold winter here. So I really had this like tiny period of window where I wanted to qualify. That was actually a long shot now that I think. you know but yeah, our major openers were like these longer 300K 400K rides where we faced long and cold nights. We
Mhm.
faced these headwinds, and that was like an eye opener. And then we had nutrition issues, a little newer, and it was really hard to come up with the solutions. So we like used to talk, and we used to write down our issues, or write down our problems that we're having during the rides.
A lot of research work went into it, and you studied
Yeah.
everything so in details. In such a short duration, you completed your SR and you got qualified for PBP. So both of you did SR together, and both of you got enrolled for PBP. How was it?
So after 400K, Salil started seeing some injury issues, like
Mhm.
some injury issues, and we gave him a we gave it a little time to recover and see how it goes. But then it was just like too painful for him to
Okay.
continue the longer ride. Then I continued, and I did a 600K, and then I finished my SR.
So in a
And then
very short duration, lots of efforts put in, and with all against all odds, you decided to get into PBP. PBP 2019 was really a great challenging event for you. How did you prepare for PBP? Because you hardly got any time because you started with your SR, all the breves, and then jumped into PBP 2019.
we did technically wrote down our plan. We did a volume based training, we did a speed training, we did a strength training,
Mhm.
and we do so much climbing and mountaineering. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we are privileged to have the outdoor access here in Oregon. So there was a lot of cross training involved.
Mm.
So that helped like marvelously. Like, I also play fencing. On weekdays. So your strength training, your speed training. So it was really amazing to see all the outdoor stuff that we do that help in the cycling journey. But for sure, like it was interesting to just sneak in the small training rides in between our work hours, after work hours, and then weekends we used to have like long distance rides to just increase upon our endurance and strength. Then we used to have these climbing sections and all that. So yeah, we actually wrote down our plan in that small crunch of time.
How was your PBP 2019 experience?
Unbelievably amazing. So Salil also came with me, just to support me. I had to like learn these basic skills of changing a tire, getting the puncture and bike maintenance stuff, so that I don't have to rely on anything. I kind of enjoyed the solo part of it because I didn't have to depend on anyone else's speed or anything like that. And it was really fun to talk with these random international riders. It was just kind of bonding and inspiring experience. I mean, I still remember like after like 600k after Ludiac, I was feeling a little sleepy, and then just a British rider, and we started talking just like that, and we were talking about our cats, and it was just so amazing. Like we rode about for like 50 kilometers, and we both were really fresh. We really enjoyed each other's like fellow Indian riders. They used to talk, they used to ask, are you riding alone? And then they used to ride with me. It was just amazing. And the experience wise, there were like a lot of learnings. I actually have like wrote a blog about it, like what else we need to improve upon our next ride. But yeah, other than that, like the countryside, beautiful countryside, I was kind of expecting that the 1200k is a long distance, and the best distance I had was like 600k.
Just half of it.
Half of it. It's like, but I think I was kind of mentally prepared for that. And I have always enjoyed this we call suffering in the moment. Which challenges your physical and mental limit. So I really enjoy that. I definitely ask myself a question, at least at some point, like, why am I riding this?
I think everything went on smooth till that last point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I did have a plan for my control points, and I was pretty much on the time till like 800k. I had a bike crash, and it was pretty bad. I was like bleeding from my lips, and I think my fingers were swollen somehow. I don't know, and my waist was bleeding somehow, somewhere near my side waist. My knee was bleeding. So it was a cobblestone road, and I was like sitting there, trying to like assess everything for at least like 20-30 minutes. And my bike handle was bent, and then the last control point or some control point was there, and then I somehow reached there with my bent bike handle. I don't know how I rode. And then they asked me like if I needed an ambulance, but then I took a rational decision. I checked my mental ability. I checked if I could, if I have any fractures or anything, or and I was like, okay, I think I can think clearly for now, and I can ride physically. I mean, it wasn't too bad. I mean, you are in that moment and you're excited, right?
Yes.
And then there is something called like this inner something energy where it just bursts out, and maybe some ego, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So it all came together, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like, it's just like last 40 kilometers, and I rode all these 1000k, and I don't want to like give up on that. and I literally stopped caring about time after like 600K. I was like, man, this is just an awesome journey. I just want to enjoy it.
Enjoy. Wow.
So yeah, I kept riding, and then I finished. I finally finished, and I was like really glad to see people, and Salil, who was waiting for me at the finish line. Yeah.
That's really amazing. And I'm very sure 2023, both of you are going to make it within time limit because you are
Yeah.
preparing so well for it. So it's
Yeah.
really amazing. So I think there are lots of learnings from your experience. The main thing which I find very encouraging is within a short span, you could make it to PBP. And if this unfortunate accident wouldn't have been there, then it was within time limits.
I thought about it a lot.
Mhm.
You kind of I wouldn't say I was feeling guilty, or I was
Mhm.
regretting or something, because I couldn't. Maybe I could have controlled that accident. I was tired and I wasn't thinking, and I was just excited. But I always say that it's all about the journey and not
Yes,
the
absolutely.
destination. Like, um, but yeah, there were like a lot of learnings. For example, like I still like read about those, at least once in a month to just remind myself.
Yes.
There was one for like time management. How
Mhm.
well you manage your time is just so important. I wasted so much time at the controls. I would also say the riding at cold nights
Mhm.
was also another learning. I mean, I had experienced that before, which was really helpful.
Mhm.
But I would really like improve upon that as well. Also, the nutrition. Yeah, you just have to remind yourself to get your nutritions.
Yes.
You
On time.
on time for sure. Like some of these tiny little learnings, I yeah, they would definitely come into play, like
Yeah.
to finish, you know, this
Yes. So
complete
lots
ride.
of learnings from your side for the upcoming riders, and I'm sure everything is going to help you for preparing for your next PBP.
Oh yes, for sure. Like yeah, I would say like planning and just implementing on it is just
Very
really
important.
important. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Apart from cycling, you have been into lots of adventurous sports. So, whatever I know is snowboarding, fencing, and the list is continuously increasing. So, tell us more about your other adventure sports.
Yeah, where do I start? Uh, so we typically have like 4 outdoor seasons here in Oregon. So in winter, I started learning, snowboarding and cross country skiing. I mean, we both started learning, and then we loved it instantly. Like we fell in love with snowboarding. So we do snowboarding in the winters. We have really easy access to mountains here.
Mhm.
Um, so like we can just go snowboarding like just 2 hours from our current
Okay.
apartment. So in springtime we climb mountains. We have these amazing cascade volcanoes here in
Okay.
Pacific Northwest. So there is like a trend here in Pacific Northwest. Like if you live here, you gotta climb these volcanoes.
Okay.
So uh, we started with the easy ones, and then we kind of are into the technical ones where you need a technical gear. You need to rope up on the glacier. You cross snow bridges and crevasses and stuff. So we do mountain climbing in the spring. In the summertime, we continue our mountain climbing,
Mhm.
and then we add a few more sports. We do whitewater kayaking. We learned whitewater kayaking recently. We love that. And then we go for outdoor rock climbing uh, and Sirac climbing in the mountains. We I also did a skydiving course. I didn't quite finish it because you need to have like 16 different solo skydiving jumps.
Mhm.
But then it was it was interesting to explore my fears. But then yeah, it was really fun.
Mhm.
Then I started learning fencing when I came to Oregon.
Mhm.
I've been, I grew up with, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and all those, warrior stories. So I always wanted to learn how to fence.
Okay.
Uh, and I'm like really serious about my dreams, even my childhood dreams. So
Okay.
I looked for, how can I learn this? And I learned about this Olympic sport of fencing. And then I've been learning fencing for like almost 2-3 years. And I had my first nationals here in US last year.
Oh, great.
It was a North American Cup. So it was really like this patriotic feeling, seeing your name in the nationals, seeing your flag and stuff. So I'm still learning, but yeah, it's such an amazing sport. And then in the fall, we do outdoor rock climbing. We add up trail running in between. My love for marathons is just growing up.
Okay, great.
I'm starting to like get my feet into like ultra distance trail running.
Wow.
So
We can more adventures and achievements from you in near future. It's been really wonderful talking to you, and thank you very much. And thanks to Salil also for
yeah,
contributing to this journey. And looking forward to meet you again and again.
yeah, for sure.
For
Like, it's
Yeah,
been like really inspiring to see and learn about cycling scene in India and get inspired from all these amazing women cyclists and
yes,
athletes out there. So yeah, it's really pleasure.
yes. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.